Hello everybody, this is the Swiss yen currency. I'm seeing here this S1 opportunity long on the 15-minute chart, S1 Swiss yen. So the theme of this week and the last weeks is that the Swissy is very strong and the yens are weak. The yen is weak against basically all other cross-currency pairs with the yen. Now this is the trade idea. It's an S1. We have a series of stop run levels here. We could actually get here a quick scalp move higher because these stop run levels, one, two, three, well, they're very close by. That's basically a cluster level. So we have three main levels, and we could get a quick move higher, then a pullback, and then we might get to this one, and ideally break to a new high. Like a new high is in line with the 60-minute uptrend, with the 240-minute uptrend, with the daily uptrend, the weekly, and even the monthly. Like on a weekly chart or the daily chart, we can nicely see what our target is. The target is the 170 big number with 4 zeros. So what I have here is I've set up this morning, I've set up a stop buy order with an initial stop loss attached, and it got just triggered just shortly ago. So this is a live market. And we got triggered in. Now as of entry, well, the 200 is kind of both, right? First it's good and not so good. The good thing is as of entry we are above the 200, so now it acts as an extra stop protection. We have broken resistance, right? It was with price action below the 200, it was resistance, we have broken it, so now it becomes a support and it's a stop protection. Well, the other thing is that the 200 is kind of magnetic, right? We can see it here how price actually went there from above, then from below, and we might actually come back and test it, and we might actually not lift off the ground. That's kind of the risk. Well, we get lifted off the ground if we run over the first stop run level, then we are off, right? The second thing is, let's talk about negatives. The second negative here is that the 21 in TC1. So we entered at the moment, well, where we just broke higher the 21, right? It has this negative slope, so it's kind of slightly negative, right? When the slope is negative. And I think we entered as well right on top of the 21. So well, now we're above, so that looks better now. So these higher time frames look fantastic. So this is a momentum driven chart, right? We trade momentum till it ends, and the momentum basically, well, we are shooting for the 70 big number. We've already broken through these stop run levels here, 2 stop run levels. After that there was a pullback, and then now we are in a second leg higher. So these stop run levels come from these highs, right? And that has worked well so far. Well, we don't have history, so we're basically at all-time high here, and that looks pretty good for going higher. So let's see. Ideally, an ideal price action would actually be this stop run move. Could get up here, right? That's actually a big number. Let's just draw that in. So we could get up to this big number, then find resistance, and then we might see a drop, right, when the stop run move has occurred. What we get typically, well, is a pullback, and then after a pullback, well, we could get to the other levels, right? So it could look something like this, and let's see whether that and how that materializes, if at all. So the trade is developing. We actually had here another small stop run level, this one. So that created this one, right? So now we've got a pullback back to the 200 moving average, and we can nicely see how it actually finds here a support, right? So we want to see that move then higher from this support. We might even drop a little bit lower, right, into the 21 support here, or we might even drop back to the flat line, which is a good support to 21, the flat line with the 21 that clusters here. So this is how the trade developed. So we saw actually a drop, right? It's basically a struggle with the 200, right? And well, here the last couple of bars where we saw a breakthrough, making a new high. Now this allows to tighten the stop a little bit, right? So I mean, if this level gets broken lower, well, I want to be out, right? So we can actually tighten it a little bit, and that reduces. That reduces the risk. So let's see what happened next. So this move has taken out this level, well, these two levels. It didn't get to this one. It's a pity that it didn't have the power to break this one and get up here. So now again, after a stop run move, well, we are in pullback mode. So what we see here is that, I mean, the bulls are struggling a little bit, right, to break the 21, to find actually, to be above the 21. And why is it struggling? Well, it has negative slope, right? So that's always a bit of a struggle. So the trade is developing. We've made another new high. So now we've achieved like close to 1.2R level. Well, this took longer than expected to break even, and well, I just wanted to make it break even now. I sold a quarter, and now moving the stop, right? Moving the stop to below the flat. So now it's a break. Well, now it's a break even trade, even profitable, because we can move it really close to the flat. Because, well, we've got a higher low, right? And let's just bring it here. We've got a higher low, so the stop is well protected. So now it seems like it wants to attack, or at least test the big number, 166. Now it's a free trade. Well, I couldn't care less what's going to happen now, if it's getting stopped out or not. Well, what we saw here, well, what we thought here, well, it's basically happening, right? We had this initial, okay, well, it came later. We had this small scalp move, then it came back. Then we had another scalp move. So it's basically what we thought here, going up. Then we had the pullback, and now it's basically going for basically this one, right? So now it's shooting for this level. Well, first the big number, which is as well as stop run level, and then this one. We could actually get some momentum. We could get potentially like two bigger bars as well here, taking out this level and this level both together. So we already have some nice momentum. So this has a long way to go, right? I mean, the moving averages have they're just overlaying each other. So just imagine that. I mean, if they expand like that, well, they can go a long way, right? They can go like to the 68 level, or we're shooting for the 170 level anyway. So we might actually see here, we might see some bigger daily bars if we develop momentum. Well, that could happen, right? Something like that, or even something like that, bigger bars. Well, if that happens, well, then we get a nice multiple out of this. Now free trade. So now it's testing, right, the big number. So we're developing quite momentum now as we break through the big number 166, and and the stop run level here, which we're just testing now. So now we see how momentum gets built, right, after this long consolidation. Well, now we are seeing the size of bars we've seen here in the momentum move, and that's what we're looking for, right? For a measured move of the momentum move. So it looks like here the first leg consolidation. So we can actually think now, well, it might actually make for 2-3 hours a pullback. So let's see how it develops. So as it has nicely broken away from the entry level, so now I'm trailing my stop. And I'm just keeping it still at a safe place, right? So well, that's a 25% profit trail. It's safe. Let's see. It's 165.7. So it's just below the 21, and it's well below the 21 here. So let's see if there's some additional momentum developing when this stop run level here actually gets broken, and whether we can get then to the consolidation high. Looks good so far. So as you can see, we have gotten the stop run move, right? This is the move. We get a pullback, so they went quicker than expected. So well, I've taken a quarter profit as of above 2 hour, just because, well, we didn't really get a pullback, right? So this could be a one leg move and then fail. Banking in is never a mistake, right? If your goal is like you want to only get to 2 hour per week, that's your weekly hour, minimum weekly hour goal, and it's the goal you're looking for, not more than that. Or then you can actually take full profit, right, somewhere up here, which will give you a 2 hour result, and then you can call it a week, basically. If you want to go for more, well, then you try to then you try to maximize that, basically, right? So we're looking for a break of the consolidation high. So the consolidation high is up here. I've marked it, and well, it could run, right? It could continue to run and break to a new high. We get that, right, without getting any pullback to the 21. That happens. Or we could see a more pronounced pullback. Well, a good sized pullback would basically be coming back to the big number and coming back to the 21 moving average. That's basically what we call a typical pullback. Now let's see what happens here. Just a quick note, it looks like we are shooting for the next level, for the consolidation high. We had no real pullback, right? We are basically pulling only back to the 8. Quick pullback here, testing the low of the last high, the stop run level high. Looks like we are shooting for the level. Should we actually get here, right, this strong move, we could actually have a follow through into the target area, the 170. That's not impossible, right? Well, just on a side note, it's a great example to not be like too impatient here, too frustrated, right? And not to be too euphoric on the other side, right? It's two sides of the same coin. Just be indifferent, basically. That's the mental state we want. Cool, calm, and confident, or indifferent, if you so want. The trade developed well. It came up to this, to the high, to the consolidation high that I've marked here, and it's holding up well, right? So it's consolidating high, and it's finding first support here on the 8, and then it drops to the 21. So it nicely finds support here, right? So we got a pullback. That's a pullback. It's basically pulling back sideways. So that's a sideways consolidation, right? It might well be an S2 setting up here. So that was basically the best of the scenarios. We didn't get a deep pullback, right? We could have even pulled back to the flat, and so that looks good. That looks very bullish. And we can see here how relevant these levels is, right? This is the consolidation high. Let's just bring it in here. This is the consolidation high, right? And the bulls have tested it and shied away. Well, they hold up well, right? They were coming in. Buyers were coming in at the 21. So testing it holds, testing it holds, right? So it looks pretty good. So the more we consolidate here sideways, well, the closer we get here as well to the moving average. So the higher time frames align, and this move needs to get digested as well, right? And that happens through this consolidation. We call that pause or refresher, right? And it's at an important level. So let's see if it can break that level. Well, I would have preferred it to break through the level and then have a consolidation like that, right? That would be a saver. So now we've got a pattern just in front of a big stop run level. Now it has gone to a nice R level. So it has gone beyond the 3R level. Now, if something like that happens, well, I recommend to take partial profits, right? Just to bank in some profits. We have this discretionary rule that above 2R, where you can bank in another quarter, right, of your profits, and that would be a good thing to do here, because we don't know if it's going to break this important stop run level. If it does, well, we should get a nice move. If it does, well, then this is the momentum move we expect to duplicate here, right? That should bring us close to the 168 level, and then we're really close to this magnet. So then basically, I think if we break the consolidation high, well, we're off into the 170 stop run level, getting a move, and then we might get to the 172 even. So it looks good. It looks interesting. We never know how it turns out, so it's better to bank in some profits here, right? If you didn't do already. So I've just scaled in a second position into this original S1 Swiss yen. I cannot see my mouse pointer, but you see it, right? That's an S1 on a 15-minute chart. This is an important level up here, right? That's a consolidation high. Well, I want to be break even when reaching that high, so I couldn't wait for a rebreak here. I was actually getting in early, right? So that's a kind of a deviation from the rule. I got it with a discount somewhere here. I'm break even, and then I let it go. Well, that's the screenshot. Let's just go back. Let's go back to the charts. So well, it has triggered, right, the official entry, and well, let's see how it goes. By the way, building the pyramids, the stops get united here of this trade and of this trade, because when price gets here and breaks this low, I actually want to be out of this one too. Now this has achieved the 1.2R level. I've sold half. Now it's break even. Things take their time a bit consolidating. Well, this is an important level, and that's not unusual, right? So that's a make or break trade. If it breaks this important level, which clusters with the consolidation high, well, we should get a really strong stop and move like a big green bar, or we could just fail, get stopped out. Well, then this is a nice R multiple to bring home. So this was the stop out of this pyramid. This was a free trade. This was the initial position, and the overall result is about a 1.77 hour. Obviously, I would have liked to break the consolidation high, which would have generated a nice R multiple, especially when this second scale in had worked. But a 1.7 hour is pretty good, and I'm happy with that. It's always good to look at a trade even when stopped out after a while, just to see, was it an unlucky stop out? Was it good to get out? What could have been a better actually stop out? So this one got stopped out. I think it was this bar, right? Well, then it tried another break higher. Well, it didn't, and then it basically fails. Well, where does it fail? Well, it fails below the pattern, right? So the move is over. I mean, we had this chance here, but there was the opportunity, right, to break this high. What was this high again? Well, it was the consolidation high of this S1 pattern here, right? There were several trials. The bulls were not strong enough this time. And what we see is, well, price fails, right? And that's what we want to see. If it cannot go higher, we actually don't want it to see go sideways. Well, there was pressure, right? Either going higher or lower, and in this case it went lower, so there was the opportunity here. You might remember I scaled in here. There was a break-even trade. That was the original trade. It went to a nice R level. There was much more to it, right? We could have gotten to the 170. There was in the cards, part of the game plan. But it's still a nice R multiple, so I'm very happy with the trade overall.